Hello again, you magnificent people of the internet. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the states of New Mexico and Hawaii. This is our preview, our weekly preview of all the properties going live on the website for tomorrow, November 20th, 2020. In case you're wondering, yes, this is the same microphone from last week. We were working on getting it replaced, and perhaps you're saying, hey, Hemingway, how long does it take to order a microphone? I know, guys. I know. We're working on it. Ordering it is not the hard part. Hooking it up is the hard part. Don't get me started. Anyway, but special thanks, actually, to all the people who left comments on the channel last week, helping to articulate what was wrong with the microphone. I appreciate that. I, of course, have two ears stapled to my head, and I can hear things. But when I'm listening to my own voice, I'm so intensely critical that I was listening to the thing going, is this my normal level of distaste for my own voice, or is there actually something additionally wrong with this? I felt like there was. You guys confirmed it. Much appreciated. And I joked last week, it's like we have engineers from Todd AO and Dolby on the channel here because the responses were actually pretty articulate. So thank you, guys. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, announcement for next week. New properties are going to go live on Wednesday, not Friday of next week, because in case you haven't heard, there is a major holiday next Thursday, Thanksgiving. Holidays have a way of sneaking up on me. Unless it's Christmas, I generally don't know that there's a holiday until like 3 or 4 days out, and somebody has to remind me of it. Like, oh yeah, Thanksgiving. So generally the Thursday before we list properties are spent with me doing videos over and over and over again and tweaking listing pages. And I would prefer to be eating pumpkin pie that day. I prefer to be eating pumpkin pie and other Thanksgiving delicacies. So we're going to move up property premieres to Wednesday of next week. I don't know what we're going to get done in the next 5 days, but hopefully we'll have something for you. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. With all that said, guys, do want to thank all the people who bought land from us these past 7 days. The new Carson Estates properties are officially a hit. A hit. So do want to thank all the many people who bought land from us out there. That list includes, in no particular order, Amber, Jorge, Robert, Claiborne, Mason, Nathan, Sandra, and Michael, as well as returning customers Steve and Deborah. Want to thank all of them. Additionally, Garrett bought some land from us in Taos County. He also bought some land from us in Rio Rancho, along with returning customer Eva, who bought not one but 2 properties from us also in Rio Rancho. So thank you to everybody for doing business with us this past week. We greatly appreciate it. With all that said, guys, new listings going live on the website this week. The first is Ba-Boom in Rio Rancho County, up here in the northern part of the state, just south of the Colorado line. This property is in the Laguna Yquez estate subdivision. It is 10 acres. It's priced at $36,000. I know that's going to exclude many of you from getting in on this one. I will, however, say whether you're interested, whether you're not interested, you should check out this listing because this is a subdivision where I have been trying for a not insignificant period of time to buy land. It is, as you can see, right by Abbey Q Lake. In fact, how right by? Let me show you guys. Here's the property on the map. Ba-boom. Here's the lake. There you go. It's about 2 miles west of the lake. There's private gated access here to people who own land in this region, to people who build in this region. As you can imagine, this is part of a property owners association. I will, however, tell you that there are fairly light covenants out here. They just don't want you parking a school bus on the property where you cook meth, guys, with a bunch of broken down old cars. That's really what they're trying to avoid. Otherwise, they have pretty reasonable covenants. Additionally, guys, I should mention, if you're willing to spend $36,000 on a property, you should probably want a property owners association in the area. Whatever the case, properties up here by Abbey Q Lake. I should mention this is also in a region where it's very close to the Huron and El Vado Lakes, very close to the Navajo Marina up here, so a lot of great opportunities for boating, fishing, jet skiing, and other, quote, water-based recreation activities. Additionally, we also have the Taos Ski Valley over here, Telluride up here in southern Colorado, so it's not just a seasonal property best enjoyed in the spring and summer months. This is one where you're going to get a lot out of this all year round. For the record, guys, photographer went out there. He had some really impressive light. So I will tell you, you should check out these photos, whether you're interested or not, because it's just some really good photography in general. And it also gives you an excellent sense of exactly how pretty, how picturesque this region is. You've got the Plaza Blanca is in this area. You can kind of see it from the property, as well as the Cerro Pedernal. Obviously, some great regions for, whatever, hiking, picnicking, photography, etc. But it's just a really picturesque part of the state. So I encourage you to check this one out. And if you are one of these people who does have $36,000 to spare on a piece of property, maybe you're building a first home, maybe you're building a retirement home, you're looking for places in New Mexico where you can, build some really nice 4,000 square foot whatever, I would encourage you. This one merits your time and consideration. It's a really beautiful property. As you can see out here, you've got power at the lot line, you've got well-maintained roads, and just beautiful views all around, as well as that private gated access to the lake from the western entrance, etc. But really, really gorgeous land out here. I, of course, will have a bunch of photos here in the gallery, a bunch of photos of the lake, a bunch of photos, drone photos, photos from the ground, etc. Drone video down here at the bottom of the page will be added as well. Check it out, guys, because it's a really beautiful region. Whether you can buy it or you can't, it's worth checking out. But if you can't afford this, then definitely it's worth your time and consideration. Anyway, guys, with all that said, that's property number 1. Property number 2 this week going live in Cibola County. This one is CBNM-5778B, like Bravo, like boy. In the Tierra Verde subdivision, we, of course, have listed a bunch of properties in the Tierra Verde subdivision in the past. This, however, is the very first one, yes, believe it or not, the very first one to have power at the lot line. Hemingway, how is that possible? Tierra Verde is a 4,500-acre subdivision that has one utility easement, and that utility easement can be found roughly about here along Mason Ranch Road. Actually, if we zoom in, here's one of the power poles, and here's another. So you can see basically where this runs through. But within the entire 4,500 acres, there is one utility easement. It goes roughly about here, and most of the nice homes that you see in this area are built within close proximity of that. The subject property are 2 adjacent 5-acre lots. It's 10 acres total, and they sit on that easement. So you actually have power at the lot line. There are power lines jutting out of the ground where the property is. So for those of you who like Tierra Verde because it looks like a good destination to put a hunting cabin or some sort of seasonal retreats really close to Cibola National Forest, you're going to be able to do that now with a heck of a lot easier time to build on the property and get power hooked up on whatever you decide to build or park there. It should also be noted, guys, I know I'm doing way too much scrolling here. You've actually got some really nice looking home sites out here within close proximity of this easement. As always, guys, we have pictures from the property down here at the bottom of the page. I was contemplating recycling some of these because I'm like, how different can it look? And then I realized, oh, it's got power on it. We should get photos. So photos from the property, power line, the roads out here. It's also notable because there is some sort of abandoned hole in the ground, which I'm going to assume was once a functional well. We, of course, are making no promises as to the viability of this hole in the ground, which may or may not have been a well at one point. But to those of you out there who are very handy, my suspicion is you will know what to do with this more than I do. Maybe nothing. Maybe you can't do anything with it. I don't know. Maybe it's just a giant hole in the ground that you have to worry about the kids falling in. But it may have been a functional well at one time. It may be easier to get up and running. Should also be noted that this is a property with a lot of vegetation on it, more than what we're normally seeing in Tierra Verde. You can kind of get a sense of it here from the drone photos. A good amount of vegetation, some good clearing spaces, easy to build on. But my point with the vegetation is that it suggests to me that the water table is probably pretty accessible out here, especially considering the number of homes that sit within relatively close proximity of this area. So something to check out, guys. This, of course, is bigger and a scooch more expensive than what we normally list these things at. Normally, we've got like 5 acres for $4,500. This is going to be 10 acres for $10,500, etc. And also going live this week, guys, we have not so much going live, but finally photographed a number of more properties in Rio Rancho Estate, specifically within Unit 5. These and these are the ones we listed last week, but the new ones, because we insist on listing things in alphanumeric order, guys, because we are that anal, are here in row 3, row 4, and down here in row 5. You will also notice, guys, that for the first time in our photographer's 12 trips to Rio Rancho, he finally got a sky with clouds in it. So these photos have some clouds. They're more visually dynamic, if you will. Anyway, on the spreadsheet, these are all in Unit 5, guys, so scroll down to, let me see, what was it, 19Z last week is where we started? I don't know. Yes, 19Z is where we started listing Unit 5 properties last week. The new ones are 20 DEF, GHI, J, MPQ, something. They're within that range. But all of these, of course, are just right off Northern Boulevard. Some of them actually have power at the lot line. Some of them have power really close. We've got a couple cul-de-sac lots here. You've got a couple that are just remote, sort of in the middle of nowhere type of thing. Power is nowhere nearby, but most of these actually have power either at the lot line or pretty close by. And as you get out in Unit 5, you're getting a little remote, but these are still some pretty developed regions. We actually, when we were cherry picking properties in this region, I tried to pick things that were close to development, close to power, so you can make the argument that despite the fact it's a little removed, that they are still desirable properties. That is the case with all of these, or certainly most all of these. So check them out if you haven't already, guys. Anyway, with all that said, guys, thanks for watching. As noted, new properties next week will be on Wednesday, not Friday. So expect the email blast to come out on Wednesday and expect the YouTube notification on Wednesday. Anyway, with all that said, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you in next Wednesday's video.